Today has been a very long day, but I want to take a moment and kind of take a step back and express some extreme gratitude for the excitement surrounding my journey to speak at the District Motherhood, the Momference conference this weekend. It took a lot for me to step into a place, the story behind me accepting the role, we can get into at another time. But what I have found is that, I love my platform. I love being able to record my podcast on my own terms and to sit in front of a video camera and tell my story and really craft the message that I want to craft for my audience. I love that part. It took a while for me to get really comfortable on camera, right? That's a whole separate scenario because on camera, I could be a little stiff. I know if you guys look at the earlier episodes, it starts out very slow and very shaky. And then I start to get more comfortable in my space and comfortable being able to deliver my message without necessarily needing to be scripted. So when the opportunity came to support my friend, but also this amazing organization who I believe so much in, to speak and do a workshop, I just was excited, but there was a little bit of hesitation. And then I realized, I'm still combating some of the imposter syndrome, feelings of, low confidence and not sure if I'm entirely ready to do this workshop and to present this message that I have. And honestly, I know a lot of people are very much on the fence about the whole idea of imposter syndrome. I have a lot of really talented, beautiful, amazing Black women that I've gotten an opportunity to work with over the years from my time, commercial, as well as from my time being more DoD centric. And some of them are just flat out like, no, imposter syndrome is not a thing. We need to label it what it is, right? It's not, a real condition. It's not a real, concern in terms of if you have lack of confidence or if you struggle with your confidence, or some people are just like, it's jitters, it's nerves, it's natural. It's a natural part of the process. And so wondering if you're ready to do something, questioning if you are ready to embark on a journey is just natural. So some people refuse to label, these feelings, these emotions of either fear of taking on, a role or taking on an opportunity, feeling like people are going to ask you questions and you're not going to be able to answer them, feeling like you're not adequate enough or strong enough to take an opportunity. Some people are like flat out that imposter syndrome is not a thing. It's a buzzword. It's a keyword. It's so forth and so on. Well, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call what I'm facing and what I'm experiencing, because part of me for a second, when I got asked to run this workshop, wanted to say no. I wanted to say no because I didn't feel like I had enough time to prepare. There were so many things going on in my life. And, I'm in the middle of trying to record podcast episodes. I'm in the middle of trying to take on a new role at work. I'm in the middle of trying to prepare for a proposal. And you know how proposal season is for me. So there were a lot of reasons. We're about to go on vacation for 2.5 weeks. And, my husband has a triathlon literally this weekend coinciding with this workshop. And so I'm supposed to be there to support him. And time is just not right. Maybe another time, maybe next time. What I will say here today is that instead of using one of those reasons, and they are all very valid reasons for why I may not be comfortable stepping into this opportunity, I decided to say, let's push past it. If you're not pushing yourself beyond your limits, if you're staying within your comfort zone, how do you get better? How do you achieve? If I had said no to this opportunity, when would the next one come around? And would the timing be right then for that next opportunity? Who knows? So I'm taking a chance. And honestly, today was the first time that I was, excited, but also nervous, but also more excited. And like really, trying to focus and hone my energy in to give the ladies at Mom Friends the most impactful, the most meaningful, workshop that I can. And so I've toyed with a lot of ideas. I have slides. My slides have been built. They're ready to go. That's one thing about me. I'm an over preparer. So the slides were built a week ago. And they color coded, brand, style, everything have had multiple rounds of review. So slides are ready. But what I want to focus on over the next few days is making sure that the message that I have to share is authentically me, as well as brings together some of my experience that honestly, there's a lot of really awesome and talented Black women in tech out here. I'm not the only one. And the rate at which Black women in tech are coming into society and really pursuing tech careers is it's so impressive and it's so amazing. So there's a lot of us available. And if the workshop was to just be about digital marketing strategies or how to set up your SEO or how you can use AI and machine learning for your business, there's a lot of people that could probably do so much of a greater job than I could explaining all of those subtle nuances, as well as, giving really awesome, beautifully created and crafted presentations. We're a dime a dozen, right? But what I have that's unique and what I had to remember about myself was all of the experience that I've taken helping women and men, that minorities, people of color, Black people, kind of walk through a world where they knew nothing about tech. They knew zero about tech. And how do you give people a crash course in tech and give them the confidence and give them the tools that they need to be successful? That is what I think was meaningful about this moment, about this particular workshop, right? Because I've had so many experiences all across the board. And you guys know from watching my podcast series, I've dealt with all kinds of founders who knew a lot about tech, founders who knew nothing about tech, right? And I've seen a lot of different experiences, right? Especially in this tech startup world where someone has an amazing idea and they just struggle to get that idea out the door for a variety of reasons. And so this workshop is really meant to empower and to educate, my mompreneurs, right? And Black professionals about where I think people often misstep when it comes to navigating the tech world. Now, there's a little bit of, tech knowledge and education that's occurring. I don't want to say that was completely pulled out of my presentation. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about technologies and their impacts for business and for entrepreneurship. And I didn't go a little bit in depth about what those technologies are and where you should invest your time and your energy and why. But also, I want to make sure that people understand some of the key takeaways from a Black woman who's guided a lot of other people of color and minorities of color where we traditionally have barriers to tech knowledge, tech access, and to technology professionals that will educate and help guide us through process, right? Here are the things that I think that are going to be super impactful to you as an entrepreneur who wants to take their first foray or get deeper into the world of tech, right? So we're going to talk about things like educating yourself, right? About understanding the difference between minimal viable product and your idea and your innovation and how you get that to market, right? Um, one of the things that I say commonly all the time is ideas, are plentiful. They are available. There's a lot of people with a lot of really good ideas out there. The idea factory could be open, but actually bringing those ideas to fruition, going through the full process, having the drive and the determination to settle in, to hunker down and execute, that is rare. Ideas are a commodity, but people who are going to actually execute the process and stay 10 toes down through all phases of any innovation, super hard to find. And so sometimes, building your team, building your village, building your tribe is actually more important than trying to go out and get a tech degree so you understand the tech all the way around. Now, tech education is important, right? But there's a lot of things that I think I bring to the table that I can share in this workshop that will help, and that will have a slightly different view on blooming with big tech than just simply throwing up some slides and talking to people about what is tech, what are the top technologies, what should you focus on as a business owner, all of those things. That's still very relevant, and there's still some of that in the workshop, but a lot more will be the secret sauce of what I think is more important to our Black tech founders, our Black entrepreneurs who are trying to infuse tech into their businesses, right? Where are the places that we need to pay attention? Where are the places that we need to build a support network? And how? How do we get access to that free education? How do we find people who are educated and will partner with us and will support us through our journey rather than take advantage of us, right? So, needless to say, there was a lot wrapped into this message today. Some of it was about imposter syndrome and how you try to step past that and step through that. We'll unpack more about that later at another time. But today's message was just really about, really understanding your unique value so that in those moments where you lack confidence, where you're starting to feel anxious, where you're starting to feel the pressure, whatever you want to call that, whether that's imposter syndrome, whether that's just, some self-esteem, intimidation, lack of confidence, whatever, right? But how do you really refocus your energy and remember what unique strengths that you bring to the table that make all of this divine alignment happen for an opportunity to come your way, right? Because I do believe that all things go in order, right? And there was a reason why this opportunity was presented to you. And that reason is rarely for you to turn it down. So I just want to remind people that there's a reason why things happen. There are steps and things that have to align for opportunities to be presented to you. So don't lose sight of who you are, and don't lose sight of your unique strengths and your unique abilities, and let that overcome, your decision to take an opportunity or lead you to turn it down. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining me with this very special, very off the cuff message, because I'm literally just sitting in the car. I pulled up at home and said, I got to get this off my chest. I've been thinking about this all day. So thanks for joining me. And I look forward to including you on the journey as we prepare for Mom Friends this weekend. So excited. And I'll, keep you guys tuned in on all of the different things that happen as we start to go into the weekend. Toodles.